Good morning to everyone out there in the Twilight Zone. I hope everybody's doing well today. I am thinking about something that I have thought about for quite a while, and after decades of research, I wonder why there is not more out with regards to the planet Saturn. And while there is some information out there, I think that there is a connection with that planet Saturn that is not being told to us. I remember some years back in my research that they were finding cave dwellings of depicting the sun from these, I guess, Neanderthals or whatever, cavemen. But the interesting thing about it, in these paintings on these cave walls, they always depicted the sun as having a ring around it. And I'm wondering if there is something going on with that planet in direct connection with this planet, with this reality that we're in. And if we're to believe anything about these sounds that came back from this Voyager that the planet Saturn is emitting, which I believe there still can be found on YouTube, is a very interesting sound, actually kind of very spooky, but the point of it is it is a, it would be a frequency creating a vibration, and I'm wondering if this may have something to do with this reality that we're in, as it seems that there is no doubt that somehow this reality has been hijacked way back when, and that this, what we are living in now, this reality is not what it was to begin with, if that makes sense. All I have to do is look around in my lifetime and see these drastic changes of, like with technology, for example. When I was a kid, there was none of this stuff around. And then, over a matter of, 60 years roughly, you have all this technology that just seemed to have come from nowhere. But I'm of the opinion that this reality in some way has been hijacked, and I'm wondering if it is actually coming from this planet Saturn. And I'm not so sure about the whole idea of that even being a gaseous type planet like they try to tell us. Of course, I have no way of proving that, nor does the scientists have any way of proving this either. Just to add something to that, I am not an individual that actually believes that people, astronauts get on spaceships and fly out above the atmosphere, Earth's atmosphere, into the inner and outer space, or they send probes, simply from the fact that it's contradictory to what physics tells us. And believe me, I know there is a lot of deception in the scientific world, so I don't pay that any attention. But based on what they are saying, for example, if there was a probe headed to the outer solar system, we're told by physics that something as small as a grain of sand traveling at such a velocity, should it impact something like a probe or a spacecraft, it would instantly be obliterated. And it makes no sense to me that they can still continue to put out a narrative that they are flying in spaceships through space when physics is trying to simultaneously say that something as small as a grain of sand, if it hits your craft, it would like implode or something. It makes no sense, which nothing in science really does. Nothing in this reality actually makes sense to me. Excuse me. But it's just food for thought, something that's been on my mind recently. I wish there was more information out there about the planet Saturn, though there is. You have to dig for it, because this information is being scrubbed. I mean, everywhere, especially when it comes to this digital internet thing. Everything is being scrubbed from the internet, and the books burned, and all this, stuff that we were told that has happened in human history. This information that they don't want out there. There used to be some literature with philosophy and this type of thing about the planet Saturn, and but this is disappearing, and I'm not in any way saying that you believe everything that you read, of course, but anyways, I guess that's about all I have to say about that. I'm thinking that there is a connection with the planet Saturn. And I would say one other thing with regards to these spacecraft is that if they are, and they probably are, showing up in the Earth's inner atmosphere to where humans can sight them in this type of thing, that does not imply that they are flying through the galaxy, somehow are able to penetrate the Earth's firmament. That is not what I'm saying here. I would say they probably are here, and they may be in a spacecraft of some type, but it is not because they've been propelled through space and then they arrive at this planet Earth. It is more of, if I had to take a wild guess, I would say it's simply they have the technology to simply change a frequency, and they're just instantaneously at the coordinates where they want to be, which would be more logical, because actually science also tells us that really traveling less than the speed of light, you would never really get anywhere in the universe anyway. So, but if you take into account of just simply changing a frequency and boom, you're there at a coordinates. Now that is a totally different thing. So anyways, maybe I got a little off topic, but it is the planet Saturn should be looked into, especially since there are some very major religions on Earth that have a great deal of connection with the planet Saturn. And while this may not be common knowledge, these happen to be three of the major predominant religion, at least in the western part of the world. And this connection is definitely self-evident through symbols and this type of thing within those respective